So I wasn't planning on recording a video today, but just 30 minutes ago, the news dropped that Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama has passed away at the age of 68. I want to read the press release, and then I kind of just want to talk about how much of an inspiration this creator is to me and the legacy that they leave behind. Because if you don't know, I mean, it would be hard for me to say that people don't know Dragon Ball. Even if you're not an anime fan, you have probably seen the characters, you've probably seen the memes, you've seen the drip, you've seen everything. Dragon Ball is a super worldwide influential series, and it's all thanks to Toriyama. And let me just read the press release, and I'll just get into everything else like this. This video has no structure. Again, I wasn't expecting this. Like, I will say that Toriyama just felt like someone that was gonna live forever. Like, honestly, that's just what I always thought. I'm like, oh, dude, Dragon Ball Z's been with me since I was a kid, and I'm fucking way older now, and I was like, he's gonna live forever. He's gonna live to be like 100 and something. And that's not the case. Let me dive into this. Dear friends and partners, we are deeply saddened to inform you that manga creator Akira Toriyama passed away on March 1st due to acute subnormal hematoma. He was an age of 68. It's our deep regret that he still had several works in the middle of creation with great enthusiasm. Also, he would have many more things to achieve. However, he has left many manga titles and works of art to this world. Thanks to the support of so many people around the world, he has been able to continue his creative activities for over 45 years. We hope that Akira Toriyama's unique world of creation continues to be loved by everyone for a long time to come. We inform you this sad news with gratefulness for your kindness during this lifetime. Funeral service was held with his family and very few relatives. Following his wishes for tranquility, we respectfully inform you that we would not accept flowers, condolence gifts, visiting, offerings, or others. Also, we ask you refrain from contacting interviews with his family. Future plans for a commemorate gathering is not decided. We will let you know when it's confirmed. We deeply thank you for your understanding and support as always. March 8th, 2024, Bird Studios, Capsule Corporation, Tokyo. As many people, I was not expecting this to happen. I mean, I literally got this text from a friend of mine while playing Final Fantasy VII, and I was just like, what the fuck? Because like I said earlier, I just felt like Toriyama was gonna live forever. I thought he was gonna be like 100 and something still creating Dragon Ball because he had that much enthusiasm. And maybe that's a little naive of me. I mean, because like in America, we had Stan Lee that lived to what, like 99 or something like that? So I was just like, yeah, that's it's gonna be the same thing. All these iconic freaking creators are gonna live way into the freaking triple digits, man. And so I wasn't expecting it at 68 years old to see Toriyama just suddenly pass away. In case you can't tell, Toriyama had a big effect on my life. I mean, I don't think I would have gotten into anime if it wasn't for Dragon Ball Z. That was the first thing I ever saw that was anime. And then, of course, you know, you see Dragon Ball where it originated. And then, of course, when it got further, we don't talk about GT, you know, you saw Dragon Ball Super. And just like everything that has been inspired by Dragon Ball, the, you know, Naruto's color scheme is taken from Dragon Ball. All of the big shonens now were inspired by Dragon Ball over the years. You know what I mean? There's just so many connections to this iconic series that, I mean, I don't even know where to begin. Like, I can just tell you, when I was a kid, Dragon Ball Z was the shit. Like, everybody I knew was walking, or not, I shouldn't say walking, we were running after school to go to Toonami to watch the latest Dragon Ball Z episode. And it's what we did. Like, it was the best thing every single day. Get in your car, go home. And if you walked, you ran home, and you just got there, you turned on Toonami, you watched the freaking episode, and then the next day at breakfast or lunch, you talked about it with your friends. And it didn't even matter if Goku was still powering up to fight Frieza. Like, you were just in it. You're like, oh man, I can't wait, dude, the next fight's gonna be insane. And it was just the best. Like, it was one of the greatest memories I can remember, just being so happy to see something and talk to people about it. Like, the closest thing I've got to that as an adult is Game of Thrones. Like, that's the only other thing that I know that everybody was watching, and once an episode happened, everybody was running to talk to each other about it. And that's how it was when I was growing up. Like, this was in middle school for me. And the thing is, what blew my mind was we were watching the same like 60 to 100 episodes and it would reset because we're in America. We're watching the dub. Like, we didn't know that there was a, back when I was growing up, we didn't have all of these streaming services where you could actually, like, oh, let me change all the different languages and the subtitles. No, you got the dubbed and you watched the dubbed. And it was awesome. Like, it was great. And so, like, I don't know, like, it was just super awesome, but since it was dubbed, you had to wait for it to be converted, so we saw all the way up until, like, the Cell Saga, like, right when the android showed up and Vegeta gets his arm broken, that's where it stopped. Every single time. That was as far as it ever got when I was growing up, and you were just like, oh, well, it's gonna reset, and the next episode it would be Raditz again, and you're like, ah, fuck, Raditz again? But we still watched it, because it was so good. It was like, you didn't care. It was just, you wanted to see it again. I'm like, all right, well, yeah, this time we get to see Goku at least kill Raditz and sacrifice himself. And then, it was just awesome. And I just have such fond memories of that. And when it finally progressed, oh my God, you were freaking out. It was the greatest thing ever when you're like, there's another episode after Vegeta gets his arm broken? What? It was just so amazing. And then as I got older, we still only had Toonami, but then you were able to start buying the VHSs at like stores. Like, there were stores that they had them at the mall, because that's what actually happened back in the day. You would go to malls, there was video stores that had anime in box sets, and there was just so many Dragon Ball Z movies. We'd buy those, watch them, and be like, oh my God, we just got, the universe was ever expanding here in America with Dragon Ball. We didn't have like everything on the internet. Then they would finally come out with a game and you were like, what? Dragon Ball Z game? What? Dude, I got scammed trying to buy a Dragon Ball Z game one time. I remember going online, reading about like this little device that I could plug into my PlayStation that would allow me to play Japanese games. And I had my mom buy it for me. It was like 20 bucks or something like that. I never got it. Somebody scammed me. Probably scammed my mom's credit card. I don't really know. But I was that into Dragon Ball Z that I was willing to pay for stuff to be able to play the game in Japanese or whatever. I was a kid. I was dumb. But that's how much I loved Dragon Ball. Like, it was just the freaking greatest thing ever. And then when we did finally get games and stuff like that in America, I think it was like Budokai or Ten. I'm blowing the names or whatever. There was the really good one that everybody raves about that was like on. It wasn't on 64. It was like PlayStation 2 or some shit like that. I forget the titles. I'm sorry. I'm just rambling. But like, it was just amazing. Like, I have such fond memories. And like I said, I got into anime because of Dragon Ball Z. And I now want to write my own mangas. I want to do all this stuff. And of course, all of this is inspired. Like, I definitely have references to Dragon Ball Z, the way they power up or whatever, as jokes, as paying homage to that, just like every other creator does, because it's such an iconic series. And I don't know, it's very, like, I just seem like a guy who's like, oh, he just really loves Dragon Ball Z. But it's one, dude, I won't even lie to you. Before Super became a thing, because I don't even know how, it's been like, what, 5-6 years now since Super came out. Before that was a thing, I wrote my own Dragon Ball Z ideas to try to resurrect Dragon Ball Z. Because, like, I was so into it. I'm like, well, we're probably never going to get another anime. Because everybody knows, if you're an anime fan, you know series just die and they probably never come back. Some of them are starting to come back, which is awesome. At the time, I never thought there was going to be anything past Dragon Ball Z the way it ended, you know what I mean? Then we got Super, and I was like, yo! And it was the greatest thing ever. But before that, I wrote my own stuff. I was writing how we can make Gohan cool again. I was writing how Goku could go next level. I was writing how Vegeta could actually look cool instead of getting punked out a lot. You know what I mean? I was writing all of these things just as a fan. Like something like I could actually write for this one day. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking bring Dragon Ball Z back to the prime time, man. That's how much this series has influenced me, just like it's influenced millions of other people. There are people that create their own fandom universes of Dragon Ball Z, and it's just amazing. Like, I love to see it. Like, there are so many creators on YouTube that have built channels just dedicated to making parodies or making just like their own versions with these characters, and it's fascinating to see. And that is the legacy that Toriyama is going to leave behind, is everybody loves these things just so fondly. Like, I obviously big fan. I have so many little knickknacks and collectibles. There's some more back there behind freaking New Girl and whatnot. And I love this series. I love this creator. His so much influence on me in general. Like, it was Dragon Ball Z was one of those things that was awesome. Like, it was like, yeah, look at these tough guys beating up each other. But it was also silly and had heart. And it showed me that not everything has to be dark and grimy and sad and all this kind of stuff to be cool. You could be the strongest man in the universe and also be a lazy slump, doesn't want to do jobs, all he wants to do is fight. And like, Goku is the epitome of greatness. I feel like he's so silly, like he's so lovable, but he's also a badass. Like, he shows you that you should never give up, like, the determination. And I'm not gonna here to fight anybody, like, because I know there's like purists or like, well, Goku's actually not like that, and I don't care. I'm talking about what I saw from the versions of things I saw. Goku's awesome. He's amazing. He's great. And I think that's kind of what a lot of people kind of agree with. Like, Goku is just a great character. And so many other characters. Bulma is one of the best female characters in anime. She's awesome. She's great. And, I mean, there's so many cosplays of every kind of character. Even the silly ones. You see people cosplaying Mr. Saiyaman. And, like, I don't know, man. It's just, I can rant and rave about Dragon Ball Z forever. I can get into the debates about Dragon Ball Z forever. But like the legacy that I think Akira Toriyama is going to leave behind is going to be one of just greatness. And not just because like Dragon Ball Z is the greatest anime of all time. It's just, you see it with his influence. And I think there's going to be so many people inspired to try to create the next Dragon Ball, which is never going to happen. That's like saying we're going to create the next One Piece or whatever. But somebody who is inspired by Akira Toriyama is going to create something that is going to be amazing. And they're going to be like, oh yeah, Dragon Ball was my favorite thing. I hope that's me one day. I'm hoping in 30 years, which is what's kind of scary here is, I'm in my 30s. This dude died at 68. I'm like, oh shit, that's like 30 years away, man. I got 30 years left. When these iconic creators die, it also makes you kind of think about your own mortality, and you're just like, oh shit, like he's been doing this for the last 45 years. I haven't done shit yet. I need to get going. I need to do something, and that doesn't help my health anxiety, especially when I see this acute subdermal hematoma. I looked that up. I know I didn't even say that properly, but that's gonna scare me for a little bit. But I don't know. I'm definitely just rambling here, but like I just wanted to talk about how great this creator was. Like this video isn't any. I'm not trying to sit here and be like, oh, I'm gonna dissect like what actually happened to his career. No, this is just an appreciation video. I'm not here to do this for views or anything like that. I just wanted to talk about a creator that has inspired me. I know that has inspired so many other people, and that has created something that has brought joy to so many people and is going to continue to provide joy to so many people. Because like the whole statement said, he was in the middle of a lot of works. There was going to be a new Dragon Ball show coming out later this year. I don't know how to say the title properly, but it's Dragon Ball Daima, I think, is how you say it. Now, there's a little bit of craziness here because a lot of people were not so happy about the trailer that they've seen because they were kind of hoping they wanted a continuation of Super where everybody's strong, they're fighting, and we're just going to get a whole bunch of stuff. I also think the manga is a continuation of Super. I don't read the manga right now. I'm going to now. But, there's a lot of people were wanting a continuation of Super, essentially. But it seems like they were going in a different route, and they were going to make all the characters kids. And there wasn't a big hype for it. A lot of people are like, oh, we don't want that. I think everybody's probably singing a different tune now. Probably going to watch this in a different light. I didn't care. I trust Toriyama. I'm like, yo, do whatever you do, man. I love Dragon Ball. I'm here for it. And it's just kind of, I don't know what the proper word is, but he passes away when his iconic characters are going to be kids again, just like they were in Dragon Ball. And I don't know if that's irony or what it is, just coincidence or maybe the right way to go out. I don't know. I don't really know how to say it. I'm just kind of jumbling words here, trying to like just go off the top of my head. But I will be watching that show with a heavy heart, like big time. And every time I rewatch Dragon Ball Z, I will remember the great times, but it's gonna be weird because I'm just like, I always thought that creator would be around. It's the same thing. Other people, this has happened with other people too. I'm a big fan of Friends, the show Friends, and freaking Chandler. I'm blanking on his name right now. Matthew Perry. Jesus, I can't believe I forgot his name. That like him passing away. I think it was last year because it wasn't. Yeah, I think it was at the end of last year. Was it earlier this year? I know he passed away last year. I never thought that was gonna happen. You know what I mean? Because that show's like very iconic. It's been around forever. You think like, oh yeah, they're probably gonna make a new show in the future. It's gonna be called Old Friends, and they're gonna be all really old, like the Golden Girls. But he passed away, and then that was just like, oh shit. Like again, it's when these superstars that you've spent a lot of your time with, or like, watching things that they've created, pass away. You're just like, oh damn, like we actually do die. Like it's crazy. You just don't, it's moments like these that definitely remind you that we're not here forever. And it's kind of crazy, even though when we're just sitting around like me playing Final Fantasy for 20 plus hours already, it, kind of wants me to like sit down. You know what? Maybe I should devote the next 20 hours to actually writing the thing that I want to create and maybe put a little bit more effort into doing something that, so like one day maybe somebody's making a video being like, oh shit, the fucking creator of whatever I create is fucking passed away. You know what I mean? Granted, that maybe that's a little fucking egotistical, but it's nice to be remembered, right? It's nice to have a legacy, even though you're not going to be here to know. Maybe you will. Maybe you'll be a ghost. Ooh, you can see everybody probably shit on your stuff too. But I don't know. It's just like, I don't know why I'm making this video. I loved the Dragon Ball Z series. I love the creator. And I kind of just wanted to pay my respects. And the only way I know how is by being a creator and showing admiration. And that's kind of really all I have to say. I think if you've watched the series, you know the legacy of Toriyama is going to continue. We are probably still going to get there's like a new game coming out in the future already. We got the new series. Probably, I don't know if there was a movie in the works right now. It probably was. And like I said, the manga is probably going to abruptly stop. I don't think there was ever technically an ending planned. Maybe there was. We don't really know. But I mean, hopefully, from what the manga has done, maybe they'll create that in the animated series, and we'll get that still. There's no telling. Usually, when it comes to Japanese creators, when they pass away, so do their works of art. They do not continue. We'll see what happens with Dragon Ball, because I do think this is a series that is, it might be bigger than the creator. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But that's all I really have to say for this video. There was no structure. There's no story here. There wasn't anything crazy. It's just a fan that wanted to pay their respects to a creator that has inspired them and so many others. So rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. You were amazing. And I will carry on the Dragon Ball Z legacy as a fan, as a writer. I appreciate you for creating something amazing. That's it, guys. If you guys haven't watched my previous videos, you can check that out. If not, who cares? If you enjoyed Dragon Ball Z, let me know your favorite moments in the comment section down below. But as always, Dragon Ball's awesome.